Eric's got a great voice.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What's your favorite word of all time?
Toast.
Wait, for clarification, toes or toast?
Yeah, was that toes or toast?
Toast.
Okay, give me your most elegant, deep chest toast.
Toast.
That was way too breathy.
Toast.
Hey,
Toast.
be confident about it. Come on.
Okay. Toast.
What is poppin', everyone? Thank you so much for watching Season 2, Episode 2 of Moral Dilemma. My name, you know me, I'm Ryan.
My name is Eric.
Oh, you have such a good voice.
I'm Corey.
I'm Dan.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All day.
It looks like it.
I don't know if anyone can notice, but we got a new soundboard for the podcast.
Yeah. Sweet.
And so I was just able to do the intro while hearing the music, and that was sick.
It's pretty
That's nice.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
Upgrades.
I'm going to lower my chair a little bit. Anyone watching, don't be alarmed. Here we go, I'm lowered.
Whoops, he hit the floor.
Shrink ray.
I thought that was your chair. When I moved everything around, I actually sat in that chair where Eric is, and it was like to the floor.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that was Ryan's chair, so I raised it.
Yeah, I gotta be kind of low.
Why?
Am I pretty even right now with everyone, height wise?
No, you're
No.
you're
Am I
lower.
shorter?
Yeah.
Yeah. And unfortunately, with perspective wise, you know, Dan's a giant because he's closer to the camera. Even Corey's about even, but he could be bigger.
And I'm just a little fry over here.
Do I look like I've lost weight?
I told you that last week, I think.
Then you said it's the haircut.
Have you been losing? You said it to who?
The haircut.
I didn't say that. Someone
Yeah,
else
you
said
did. You
that.
know, you said it. You're
No,
like,
I said you look like
lose
you've lost weight
Oh, maybe
and you
it's
got
the
a haircut.
It's just the haircut, dude.
Hey, I was trying to compliment you. I said
Yeah,
you
but you
looked
took
good.
it back. You're
No,
like,
I straight up said you look good today, Eric.
oh, maybe it's the
You know what? I
haircut.
take it back. Your hair. It's your haircut. But speaking of haircuts, today's episode is all about Pixar movies.
What's that have to do with haircut?
Everything. You'd be surprised, dude. I
There's
got
a lot of haircuts in Pixar.
Dude, there's a lot. Name
mean,
one Pixar movie
yeah.
where the main character doesn't get their haircut in it.
Well, think of Monsters, Inc. Some of the animals actually got
True.
if they got contaminated.
I was being stupid, but that's a good point.
10. Yeah, I can't.
Got to know your Pixar.
Finding
Dude,
Nemo.
I love my Pixar.
Next episode, we'll talk about. We'll try to name all Pixar movies that get haircuts.
Yeah, we're actually gonna go through every movie ever made that has a haircut in it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Forget that.
Gran Torino has some haircuts.
It does.
We watched that at Dan's house last Sunday.
Barber shop.
A barbership scene.
Yeah.
Easy, Dan. Oh man, it feels like I haven't been here for a while.
We haven't.
I know. Hey,
We
guys.
haven't been doing it every week anymore.
I know.
We're doing it
Yeah.
every other
Well,
week.
but we skipped last week because we weren't ready.
Well,
Yeah.
we've been meeting. We just haven't
Yeah.
recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It felt like an episode last week. We had
It
some
did.
good conversation.
yeah. Well, I'm learning that with us, and maybe everyone, I don't even know. If you put headphones on us, we can hear our own voice, and in front of a microphone, we'll just talk for hours.
Yeah.
And it's
I
fun.
like it.
Well, if your guys aren't selfish and prideful, I don't know. You just like to hear yourself.
It's
talk.
the most selfish thing ever. And Eric's got a great voice.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What's your favorite word of all time?
Toast.
Wait, for clarification, toes or toast?
Yeah, was that toes or toast?
Toast.
Okay, give me your most elegant, deep chest toast.
Toast.
That was way too breathy.
Toast.
Hey,
Toast.
be confident about it. Come on.
Okay. Toast.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
There we go.
All
What's
right.
really going to come out is when he starts preaching here later on.
Yeah.
That's when
yeah.
it's really
That's when
gonna
it gets
peak.
rich, dude.
I hope he starts preaching about toast.
Yeah.
Frippy crispy.
For someone who sings in falsetto most of the time, he's got a nice chest voice.
I can't
Oh,
sing
man.
at all.
So let's kick this episode off.
All right.
All right.
What are we kicking it to?
Let's just kick it. Let's just start talking about, like we said, we're
our
talking
favorites?
about Pixar. We're hoping this episode is something for everyone because a lot of our most recent episodes, I guess we've only done one this season, was just Call of Duty. So that's for the boys mostly.
Mm-hmm.
This one's gonna be for
there might
everyone.
be some females out there like.
Yeah, but like this one's a family friendly episode. Dan, did you hear that?
Yeah, I'll try to mind my P's and Q's.
Yeah. So let's just kick it off. Want to go through our favorite pixies? That's what I call them. That's what I call them. Yeah. Who wants to go first?
Are we doing 5-1 or?
Let's
Okay.
Let's do
You want me
5
to
to
kick
1.
her off?
Kick her off. Careful though, because you got a hurt foot.
I know. I'll have to kick with the other foot. Okay, so since we're going 5-1,
You have a nice voice too, Corey.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Since we're going 5-1, my fifth movie is very controversial in the rankings of Pixar movies,
Okay.
but it's one that I watched recently and I actually really enjoyed. It's Onward,
Oh,
and I saw it on it on
Okay.
Disney Plus. If you look at the just online rankings for Pixar movies, it's pretty low. I mean, it's not like at the bottom, but it's probably like lower mid area of the rankings. It's just like really kind of an interesting concept to me because if you haven't seen it, they're like it's all like mythical creatures, but they like left the old school mythical ways and went to like it's kind of like modern society. So like they're like elves, but they drive vehicles.
it was kind of like a D&D campaign made into a Pixar movie.
Yeah,
which was sweet.
So they kind of go from like all of the magic exists in their world still. They just don't use it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
Yeah.
it kind of like
forgotten.
goes on. Yeah, it's kind of forgotten. So it's kind of like these two brothers get to go on a quest to like find magic. Again,
No, I
kind
actually
of,
got
so-
an 88 out of 100 out of Rotten Tomatoes.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's just weird when I saw on some of the rankings that it was kind of low.
Well, I feel like that one, for some reason, I always forget that's Pixar. It just didn't feel super
Well,
Pixar to me.
That's what I thought at first when he mentioned it. I was like, I thought that was Walt Disney because it is hard to keep them straight because there is, like Wreck-It Ralph,
Yeah.
but that's Walt Disney.
DreamWorks does a lot of
DreamWorks
kids
too, yeah.
movies. They're kinda like,
I actually thought it was DreamWorks at first, but then when I looked on the list, it was on there, and I was like, I actually really like that movie. So
Now-
I'm gonna put
That's
it out
a-
there.
It's fire.
let me ask something about that one because with a lot of movies that come out, you keep hearing about how, especially with Disney, they're going to start adding certain things in the movie for kids or whatever.
yeah.
Was there anything in
real
this?
brief.
Was there anything in this movie that
Yeah,
You
she
know,
says.
I just was
my
curious?
girlfriend-
I just was curious.
Yeah,
So, because my
So
kids hadn't seen it yet.
it's an innuendo type thing.
yeah.
But you don't see a whole lot.
Okay.
It's-
Yeah.
But it is concerning as a parent.
that they're starting
This
to
is a
enter.
Christian podcast that
Yeah.
a lot of those things are kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
trying to be forced into. I don't see the need for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to make a statement in a different movie, but why it has to be a kids movie, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I
Just kind of
curious.
pushing the cart a little bit, which I don't know.
Doesn't need to be done.
Some people really appreciate it, but I think
but
it's super
the
unnecessary.
thing is, super unnecessary for
Yeah.
the age range.
Well, I mean, and there are. I remember when Frozen 2 came out, everyone was thinking that
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elsa.
Was supposed to openly be a lesbian or something.
Yeah,
and
that-
then they didn't really.
Yeah, they
say
didn't
anything
confirm
about
or
it.
deny it, but just it was clear in the first movie.
Like,
that, to
we're
me,
gonna-
it was
we're
Like
gonna
kids
get
be
wasn't-
kids.
We're gonna get a tangent here, but think about the process of that. Why is that being forced?
Yeah.
Why is it being forced? Are you saying that in their theory that they're trying to make it okay, right? They're trying to make everybody accept it, right?
Right.
But really, why do you have to target kids? Well, to me, it's kind of trying to entice kids to be okay with that.
Right.
So it's lowering the standards. I'll get a little fired up with that because
Yeah.
It's all right.
it's important for us to understand that there is a war against values in
Right.
Christianity in the
Absolutely.
culture, and of course I've seen it growing up. I mean, me and Dan are I'm older than Dan,
No
but
way.
we've seen it in other things before, like premarital sex. It's like that too. Like, why do so many movies have to have that
Yeah.
as like a thing? Like it's just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that wasn't
Yeah.
my normal. So.
And my big thing too with movies and stuff, and it's so aggravating because there'll be a lot of movies like I want to show my kids or whatever, but it'll have like one F word in it the whole time or whatever. And from a movie standpoint, I'm just like, how much more money are you making because of that?
Yeah.
Like, is there a demographic of people that are like, you know what? if they say the F word one time,
I'll
then
see it.
I'll go watch that
I'll see
movie.
it, yeah.
You're not making
Well,
more money like that. You would think you'd make more money the
Part
other
of me
way
thinks
around.
that a
It's
lot of
that's kinda
this
crazy.
this stuff that's being put in is the people making the movie just want to make it a little bit more realistic and relatable. But I think it's just pushing it. I mean, I don't want to watch a movie to be super realistic. Like, I want to watch a movie just to have fun and chill out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and get away from the world.
seriously, and then you watch this movie.
Like,
and,
if you want to shoot a realistic movie, do like a documentary type
Yeah.
movie. Like, it doesn't bother me when it's a movie and it's in there because it's crucial to the whatever the point they're getting across.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like I even think about the first time I watched the movie 12 Years a Slave when they're like getting beaten and you're like, and you see some things like that happened.
yeah,
So like when you, obviously there's a certain maturity level you should reach before you would see something like that.
Right.
But
like
it's not
like 7.
Yeah. The movie or the the age? Okay.
But like when I feel like it's like crucial to telling what happened,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me so
Yeah.
much.
But if it just comes out of left field, it's
Yeah,
just
but
kinda-
when there, you can definitely tell in certain movies where you feel like they put something in there just to force it in there.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessary.
Well, that's the way I see it right now. Is it's being forced
yeah,
in there.
well, and for
They
the
wanna be
world, it's
politically correct.
exactly, and
I'm
there's a
sick
lot
of
of there's like a new wave the last few years of that being pushed down people's throats, and it's starting to show in these movies where it just kind of comes out of left field.
Well,
And
I
you're
mean, like even
all right.
Gotham,
yeah,
the Batman TV show.
yeah,
I liked it for a while, and then I was like, I'm just tired of.
yeah,
I feel like it's being crammed down
Political,
my throat. I
yeah.
don't. I just want to enjoy a show.
Exactly.
Why can't I just enjoy a
Yeah.
show? And it feels like there's even like Cobra Kai, which it did have in the second season. We're really going on a tangent here, but the fact is that certain shows like you said about like the first 2 seasons of Cobra Kai, it's like alcohol, underage alcohol drinking is the primary theme in season 1 and season 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they added some other elements, but then he had cussing in it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like that wasn't Karate Kid when I was growing up.
yeah,
Yeah.
Karate Kid was pretty clean.
Yeah.
But then they added season 1, season 2. Who are they trying to reach? Now season 3.
It's just going to show you how bad Cobra Kai was. That's why he needed to defeat him.
No, it wasn't just Cobra Kai. It was all the people in it.
And I
Even
think
Daniel LaRusso.
it wouldn't have bothered me. Like the first couple episodes, it didn't really bother me when it was just Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah.
Because I felt like they were trying to show how far he had fallen.
Yeah.
But like
But the
they
underage.
didn't the underage stuff, the like stuff like that. The redemption story would have been so much better. Like even at the end, he was still drinking.
Yeah.
Like it would have been cool if like when he really started to like get his dojo together, like he actually left that lifestyle and like it was like a true full redemption story.
Yeah.
But he kept drinking, and then like even if he had stopped and it showed the realism of like when the trouble started happening, he kind of like lost himself in the show. If he like fell back to it, but then like worked out of it again,
Yeah.
I still think
Well,
it wouldn't have been as bad. But to your point, like
Like
all
the
underage
underage
stuff is
drinking was
not
terrible
necessary.
because it's like this is supposed to be a show that you watch with your family,
yeah,
Yeah.
and all that my kids are seeing is all this underage drinking, which is illegal, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
And they're showing adults contributing to the issue.
yeah.
But it's against the law.
Yeah, which is against the law.
Dan the policeman.
Well, it just goes back to it's so important, but it's this whole idea of society raises kids. This whole idea. Well, the society is going to raise your kids, and as a parent, you just have to. I'm going to raise my kids the way I feel like they're supposed to be
Yeah.
raised. So that's why I don't let them watch and hear everything. That's why I don't give my 8-year-old a phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In school, I mean, we got first and second graders come to school with phones. We got
Yeah.
we got fifth graders with cell phones and complete internet access to anything they want, and then parents are wondering why their kids are into pornography and stuff like that at an early age.
Easy access.
And then you have parents
and Lil Wayne.
and you have parents
Wayne.
and you have parents saying stuff like, well, I've had parents tell me to my face, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't stop them. And it's just like, well, I won't say anything so I can keep my job. But
You can
It's just
stop
like,
them, yeah.
I mean, well, just be a parent. I mean, you don't have to give your 8-year-old iPhone. You can give them an old one that just has games on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Without internet.
Let's get this idea. Suffering is okay sometimes.
Yeah.
Suffering is not always a bad thing. You don't always have to have the things you think you need.
yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, we get called that sometimes we're rough parents just because.
Right.
And we don't police everything, but
Yeah.
like you're saying, our kids didn't have a cell phone until they're 12. Even Isaiah has a cell phone, but I have it way restricted. But
Yeah.
he doesn't have it activated until he's 12.
Yeah.
So I have all these, but they don't like that. But going back to Pixar and stuff, that's where it kind of concerns me, and it concerns me with all kids movies because I would say that some of the Pixar movies have moved to more adult themes, like some of the ones we may talk about here. But I guess we'll go ahead and let you finish, Corey, with your.
I will kind of speed run the rest of these and then
I was
just
about to
talk
say,
shortly
Corey,
about another
way to
one.
plunge us into a
Sorry.
tangent.
My
It's
fault.
okay.
Well, it's actually dance.
It's my fault. I should have asked after.
No,
It's
that's
good.
That's a good moral dilemma. though.
Gosh, Dan.
Sorry.
That's kind of what we're
What's the
trying to
show?
push for more this season.
Yeah.
So
No,
I hope
this
the listeners
is-
enjoy that.
This is the season.
This is for what it is.
I'm tired. I'm gonna be saying
It's
some
fine.
random
Okay,
crap.
so 4, I have Finding Nemo.
Oh, jeez, dude. Underwater fish. I'm okay with that.
I just think it changed a lot. I think
Okay,
it was
yeah,
like the
Finding
first
Nemo-
big kind of
Yeah.
movie.
Do you
like
know how
that.
hard it must have been to make an entertaining movie that's
About fish?
completely underwater about fish? That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what Pixar is, taking random concepts that no one would really want to make a movie about and just making it like outstanding. So
Okay. So 4, I have Finding Nemo. 3, I have Toy Story, the first Toy Story.
one. Okay.
Okay. And then I really
Respect.
struggled with 1 and 2. One's an oldie, one's new. For 2, I have Coco, and for 1, I have Monsters Inc. And I loved
Bless.
Coco.
Coco was good.
They even, a lot of people don't know this, but like they even like animated when he's playing the guitar, he's playing the actual chords to
Yeah,
the songs.
that's
and stuff. Like
impressive.
the amount of animation it took to do all that is just like insane to
Yeah.
me.
That's one I haven't seen.
Good.
It's
really good.
I just think the story was so well thought out in that one. Like there was a lot of depth to that movie. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why I was. But Monsters Inc. just is always kind of like a.
Right.
I remember being little, and we would always. My dad, when we first watched it, my dad would walk around, and I can't even remember her name now, but the secretary lady or whatever.
yeah.
He would walk around. He'd like peek around the corner and go, "I'm watching you, Wazowski," and like that was when we
Yeah.
were kids.
Yeah.
So that's just like a memory thing. So
For sure.
okay,
Hey, that's a solid list, Corey.
Good list.
Solid list.
Good list.
I don't know about Finding Nemo though. It's a little. No, I'm kidding. It's a great movie. Who wants to go next? Who wants to?
Sure, I'll go. All right, so in reverse order. Now so number 5 is actually, if I remember correctly, the lowest earning Pixar movie.
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, earning or
Yeah, like
rated?
Lowest, like it made the least amount of money. But I had
To
it.
Bug's Life?
No. That's a good one, and I didn't put it on my list.
Yeah, neither did I.
It's hard. Okay, so number 5 is The Good Dinosaur.
Oh,
I've
Now-
never
I
seen
like
it.
that.
Now,
movie.
I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people don't like the story. They think it's simple or whatever. But the landscape animation on that movie was beyond sophisticated.
Yeah.
The scenes where they have like the water moving and the leaves with the water dripping off of them, it looked, when you watch it, especially when you watch it in theater, you forget that this was animated on a computer.
Oh, yeah,
like
for
it
sure.
almost looks
Yeah.
real.
And
It's ridiculous.
the same thing, Soul, which we're going to talk about. They have some like real life sequences. We've all seen Soul. Now.
I have not
You
seen
haven't?
it,
Okay.
no.
But the stuff that is supposed to be in real life is mind blowing. What they were able to do, like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So that's why I put Good Dinosaur in there, because it is a good story, but it's a simple story. But the animation, the landscapes are spectacular. So that's number 5. Number 4, I put Coco on my list. Number 4.
let's go.
Number 1 for the music.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic, but also the connection to history, the real life cultural connection to Spanish and Mexican
Yeah,
heritage, and
that
the
was
Day
really
of the Dead
cool.
and stuff. That was good. But it has some of the best music, I think, of all the Pixar movies. Number 3, Monsters Inc. It's just one of those classics. That was always that. It was always Monsters Inc. versus Finding Nemo. It seemed like it, and I always like Monsters Inc. better. It's got it's John Goodman, so once again, it's
dude.
like
Johnny.
So number 2, I have Incredibles. I think that really took the Pixar movies a different direction.
Yep.
It was almost, it was the first like superhero movie for that, and then I have Toy Story number 1, just
Okay.
because for me, I think Toy Story sets the bar for all Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but I do think the thing about Toy Story is its originality.
Oh yeah.
I think it is such a unique story.
Yeah.
And I think that's what sets it apart as number one.
I feel like part of the reason why I like Pixar, so I feel like pretty much every concept that Pixar does is super original.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of off the top of my head a Pixar movie that is kind of a rip off of another movie.
No.
Well, maybe the one that I'm going to share for my worst, but
Oh, which
maybe
one?
not.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
But Toy Story is my number one too, and the
Yeah.
reason why is because of what you said. Because think back, for me and you, we've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, you guys grew up with like 1, 2, 3, and
Yeah.
4, right?
Yeah.
So for us, watching it for the first time, one, the animation was incredible at the time. Even though if you look back, it's
And it even still
Bastard.
kind of holds up
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
but the story of your toys
Yeah.
Yeah.
and them wanting to belong.
That's
and
like
cared
such
about.
a genius idea.
Yeah. I mean, you could see that. You could also relate to that as a person that loved to have your own toys
Yeah.
and you reminisce about those things that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
And the
I mean, I'm still-
nostalgia.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
nostalgia.
Green Army Men.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that.
Yeah, I was about ready to call Babs this right there.
Speak in space. And,
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a trip down memory lane with
Yeah.
a heart and a great story and building friendship too. So, I mean, it was great.
You got a friend of me.
Yeah.
You got a friend of me.
yeah. And I do want to shout out, we talked about if it had been a Pixar movie, but it's not, but it's a Disney movie. What I think is my all-time favorite animated movie is Big Hero 6.
Oh yeah.
That's Walt Disney.
I wish
That's
it was
so good.
best animated movie storyline.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was amazing. So
And there's a Stan Lee cameo, right?
yeah.
Because it's a comic book
Yeah.
originally.
Is it a Marvel comic book?
Someone's getting a call.
It's connected to Marvel. Oh, I'm
It's
getting
Stan Lee.
phone call from work.
Oh,
Live on air.
it's a 2-hour delay.
I'm thinking it's a 2-hour delay.
Already.
We're gonna
2 hours
find out.
delay
Drum roll,
live
please.
here. Too bad our shows isn't
Press the
live.
pound key.
To repeat this message,
They're calling to tell Danny got fired.
schools will be at a 2-hour delay
Ooh.
from Monday, January 25th.
Dude, we're standing late tonight, boy.
Party night.
That's not gonna
Yeah,
help
this
that's not
message
gonna
is
make my-
for
Don't tell her.
Daniel Norman.
That's not
you
gonna
are
make my
fired
life feel any
immediately.
better.
We found the bottle in your desk
Jordan, you want to
drawer.
come in? You don't have to be on air.
There's
kidding, guys.
no-
Okay. Walk past the camera quickly.
Yeah. So
Or just crawl.
just so everyone knows, Jordan Ball randomly walked
Jordan just
in.
walked in. My little brother. He's
He's
holding
crawling
a Red Bull.
under the camera, so you can't see him. But
My mom is
crawling on the
super
floor.
against us drinking energy drinks, and Jordan has one right now. Not
And
cool,
so
dude.
do you.
Not cool. You can't prove that if my mom's just listening. All right.
He has 3 Red Bulls. He's downing 3 Red Bulls right now.
Yep. One with my mouth. I'm not going to say where the other 2 are going. Eric.
Okay, you want me to go? So at number 5, I have Upward.
You mean onward?
Sports?
Sorry.
Upward Sports.
Upward. No, upward.
Sorry.
Hey, it's all right.
Onward.
I know what you meant. That is a good one.
That
I
was
wanna
a
see-
good
That's a good one.
I can't wait to
Sorry.
see that one.
Yep.
Wally.
Oh, okay.
Wally was good.
I'm
Do you
glad
know
someone
that?
mentioned
Do you know
Wally.
that a lot of people consider Wally the best Pixar movie?
I don't know if it's the best.
And I was going to
Yeah.
put it on my list just for its originality.
Yeah.
but
That's kind of where it is. It's really most of the movie is kind of quiet, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You think,
which-
it's kind of unique.
it's like E.T.
I really, really like Wally, and I think that it's for how many people say it's their favorite. I think it
Yeah.
deserves that.
And then Monsters Inc. Incredibles.
Did you know that
Good.
Monsters Inc. The Inc. stands for Incorporated?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the tattoos that they.
That's
all
what
got.
I thought.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a tattoo movie
my
for
gosh.
years. Even yeah.
All right.
Continue.
And then Toy Story.
Number one.
Oh,
Too much Red Bull,
Incredibles
Ryan.
number
Incredibles
2.
too? Okay.
I will say that the thing that bothered me about Incredibles, I hated how long it took them to come out with the second one.
I hated
It
the
really-
second one.
it really
I thought the
messed-
second.
It's like 14 years.
I thought the
Yeah,
second
it was
Incredibles
just
movie
like-
was the biggest letdown. Of
And
my
then
entire
my
life.
fiance made me go watch it with her 3 times
Really?
because she loved it.
I
And
saw it a few
went,
times.
but like I mean, the first one I really liked, but then I was like, the whole Underminer thing. I was like, yes, they left you on a
Yeah.
cliff so that you can watch the sequel's going to come out and it's going to be all about that. And then
Wonder why they didn't go and do that. scene.
Well, I probably because a lot of things they just wasn't sure if it was going to make money or not.
Well,
but
and if you think about it, Pixar until I mean, I guess Toy Story 2 and 3 were an exception. Well, actually, 2. But for a long time, they didn't do sequels, which I wish that they stuck to that because a lot of the Pixar sequels suck.
Yeah.
Well, Toy Story did a pretty good job.
The
except
toy, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
when I get to my
Toy
list,
Story 2.
They're all pretty
okay.
good.
you want me to do my list?
Sure,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Let me pull it up here. All right, number 5. Drumroll, please. Actually, I have a tie for this. It was actually I'm going to change this. 6 is Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is a great movie. Number 5 is Ratatouille.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's a really good one.
Ratatouille slaps for a lot of reasons, and one of them.
Fine
I just
cuisine.
got a text that
Fine
said
cuisine. I like that.
crash Life 360 crash detection is now enabled. Fun. Anyway, Ratatouille, great movie. And I was doing some research, and what's cool about Pixar is whenever they come out with a movie, there's also a lot of like animation technology that is invented for those movies.
Yeah.
And a lot of these movies, like Monsters Inc., the way that Sully's hair moves was invented for that movie and used in so many movies now. But listen to what was created technology-wise in Ratatouille. There was, and this is all animation stuff, there's a lot of advances to crowd animation. I don't know what some of these mean. Articulating appeal, acting with contact in animation, food animation, surface from particles rendering, simplification of aggregate detail, soft reflections, simulating whitewater rapids, hair/fur rendering, cloth simulation, and harmonic coordinates.
Wow.
Isn't that something? Just in Ratatouille. And I don't know what any of that means, but I want to look up what simplification of aggregate detail means.
Do you know who
Aggregate means like gravel and stuff.
led? You know who
like
led
texture.
Pixar?
What is it?
You know who led Pixar?
Who?
Steve Jobs.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I should have done more research.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was actually involved with Pixar in between the time he left Apple
Yeah.
and then he went back to Apple.
Okay, I was going to explain what simplification of aggregate detail is, but this is like a 6-page complex thing with like
let's just-
algorithms.
We'll do that for homework.
Go to your next
I'm
movie.
kind of
All right.
bored.
Yeah. Number 4, I had Wally. Great movie.
Yeah.
I loved
agree.
how like desolate it was, and
See, sometimes we're
quiet.
different, but sometimes we're spot on.
oh yeah, for
That's
sure.
a nice word, desolate.
Desolate. Why?
Just good use of a
is.
word.
Thank you.
Desolate.
It was desolate, barren.
Barren.
Now let's not get too risque there.
Number 3, we had The Incredibles.
Okay.
I love that movie so much. And kind of what Dan was saying, it was kind of the first superhero movie for like that was animated for kids.
Yeah.
But it also
was
for
a good story.
adults, I mean, looking at like the guy's job, how like 9 to 5 it was, he was kind of run out of it.
It is a cool story.
Yeah, I think that's
Well,
inspiring
like
for all
you said
ages.
about Pixar movies, they were out thinking outside the box. It wasn't just your general story about superheroes.
Yeah,
they could have
exactly.
done a general story about superheroes, but no, they were like, no, we're taking all the superheroes away
Yeah.
and we're relocating them.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I thought that was really cool how they tied everything together and how
Yeah.
they lived, and it was cool how even though they had this side of the movie where it's just their everyday life, it was still just as entertaining as when they're fighting the bad
Yeah.
guys. It was super relatable, super entertaining. Number 2, this one might come as a shock, was Toy Story 2.
No,
I
that's
thought
not a
Toy
shock.
I thought Toy Story 2 was better than Toy Story 1. I really did.
Well,
There's-
it goes back to the whole idea of the animation was better, but the story.
I think the story for me is what I liked more because I mean Toy Story 1, it was kind of contained to just like Andy's house, right? It was Andy's house.
Yeah, well,
and-
in Pizza Planet
yeah.
and Sid's house.
yeah,
Yeah,
And then-
Sid's house was,
yeah.
which was it? I thought that was a really
yeah,
excellent way to introduce a bad guy.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Just
to have the
was
creepy neighbor
Who's
kid.
that
Yeah.
happy
guy.
little boy over there that keeps laughing?
Yeah,
with the zombie. Actually, I saw this the other day. Do you remember in Sid's house when Woody meets all the scary characters and there's the like baby with the like spider legs and everything? There's one creature that has like Barbie legs connected to a crane.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a hooker.
That's what it is. Yeah.
It's a hooker.
That's hysterical.
I thought it was funny. And number 1 is Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is one of my favorite movies just of all time.
was it the humor or was it the storyline?
It was the humor and the storyline, and as a kid, just the concept of like all the different doors in the universe leading to like different places. I thought that was so cool, and it was great. It was a good time. Still love watching it. Gave it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Follow me.
Yeah, it's a good one. My kids love Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
I do want to say one of my favorite things about Pixar, which Disney kind of does it too, but finding all the hidden things in the new Pixar movies. Like I love, like when we watched Coco for the first time, I like had the list up on my phone, and like as I'm watching the movie, I'm trying to see the stuff. And I will say, Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
In the antique shop, there's like 10.
Yeah.
There's like the Walker cane from Up is in there, and the Pixar ball is in every movie.
Yeah.
The little star ball. But
I always liked
I love that
And
stuff.
I always like Benford tools on the toolbox, Sid's toolbox in Toy Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Benford tools.
Sid being the trash driver in Toy Story 3.
That's right.
He
He's
gets
listening
out.
to rock
Yeah,
music.
yeah. Like,
the same truck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The same with the
Oh, yeah,
license plate you
and
see.
And the Pizza Planet truck is
Pizza
in all
Planet
of them.
truck,
It's in
yeah.
Wally and the trash
and it's in
pile
isn't it in
and-
Bug's Life too?
Oh yeah.
It's in every single Pixar movie.
I
including
just
Soul.
think that's so cool.
See, I
love
didn't
that stuff.
know some of that.
Yeah, I
At least
love all that stuff.
Yeah. I want to share some Pixar facts.
Okay.
You guys want to hear some facts? One you might know, John Ratzenberger, who's probably best known for Ham the Pig's voice.
Yeah.
He is in every single Pixar movie. And the reason because of that is the Pixar kind of views him as like a good luck charm. They're like, if we put this guy's voice in the movie somewhere, even if he's not a main character, it's gonna do well. And so there's a list here of every single character he's played, and some are like main characters. Like he was the like Mack truck in Cars, which is Cars 1 was a good Pixar movie. I like that one. He also
Yeah, I was surprised I didn't make it on anybody's list.
he was a flea in A Bug's Life. He was a random guy on a subway in Soul. I just think that's cool how like all the Pixar movies kind of have this like overarching thing, and there's a lot of people that think that they all take same place in the same like universe.
Yeah.
They're all connected.
Yeah.
It's like the Disney movies
Yeah.
or whatever. Now, did he? I get my facts mixed up. Did he pass away?
I think he's still alive.
Okay, so
Because he was in Soul.
So it's the guy who plays Mr. Potato Head then
Yeah.
for Toy Story
Yes,
4.
he
did.
He passed away.
Yes,
but
yeah.
they had enough digital recording
Yeah,
from the other 3
that's
movies
crazy.
that they still had him
Yeah.
in the movie and play that character. Isn't that cool? Because
Yeah.
I mean, they probably have thousands of hours of recording.
Nowadays, you can bring even General Tux, or what was his name?
General. Oh yeah.
General
And Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Rogue One.
Oh,
The General.
Tusk or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was? Yeah, because he
where's
was.
Doug?
He was like 70-some years old in the 70s. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the John, he's from Cheers.
Yeah.
yeah.
Same, yeah.
He was the mailman, right? I
Yep.
think so. Norm.
Cheers. All right, here's another fun fact. Toy Story 1, Woody wasn't originally a cowboy. He was actually supposed to be a ventriloquist dummy, but they thought it was going to be scary,
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
say
which
that.
is a good call. And in the 4th one, a ventriloquist dummy is like
Right.
the villain, right?
Yeah, like the
it's-
henchman.
And it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of creepy.
Yeah. Let's see. Wally and R2-D2 are played by the same actor, the voice.
Interesting.
Ben
I did
Burt.
not know that.
Yeah.
Did you know that R2D2 is the says more foul language than any other character in any movie?
You serious?
Because everything he says, they bleep it out.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
It's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dan, you're on the roll of dad jokes.
that was a good one. I like that one.
Have
This
you ever
one-
seen? I'm sorry, but have you ever? If you haven't seen the videos where they replace R2D2's beeps with an actual voice that he and then like C3PO responds to, it's fantastic. It's like he's actually saying stuff, and then C3PO
It makes you
responds
wonder,
back.
dude.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Funny.
Another one. This one I thought was really cool when I read it. So the original pitch for Monsters Inc. was to have a grown man be haunted by the monsters he drew as a kid. And that's actually kind
cool.
of, yeah, it is really cool, but I feel like that'd be creepy. It says on Jeff Goldsmith's Creative Writing Podcast, shout out, sponsor us. We're podcast buddies.
Yeah, man.
I don't know who Jeff Goldsmith is.
He's an important dude.
I bet, dude, Goldsmith?
Yeah,
That's
not like silver or bronze.
Yeah, it could have been Bronzesmith, but it's Goldsmith. Anyway, on that podcast, Pete Docter, who directed pretty much all the best Pixar movies, said, my idea was that it was about, Monsters, Inc. was about a 30-year-old man who was like an accountant or something. He hates his day job, and one day he gets a book with some drawings in it he had when he was a kid. He doesn't think any of it. He puts it on a shelf, and at night, monsters show up, and nobody else can see them. He thinks he's starting to go crazy. They follow him to his job and on his dates. It turns out these monsters are fears he never dealt with as a kid, and each one of them represents a different kind of fear. And as he conquers these fears, the guy who he slowly becomes friends with, they disappear. It's this bittersweet kind of ending where they go away, so not much, and they should have stayed. So that's a really good concept.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be an actual film.
Yeah, for sure.
Like not an animated film. Like
which
an
just
actual...
shows how good like Pete Docter is, who also directed Soul. Is it making these concepts like that's something that takes a talent to think about something like that.
That's pretty cool.
Here's the last fact: Ratatouille sparked a big craze of pet rats. A lot of pet stores were selling out of pet rats
Rats are popular.
during Ratatouille. Shout out Mr. Wheeler.
Yeah.
Did you ever know Mr. Wheeler?
No, I did not.
He was an art
great.
teacher at the elementary
At
school
Little
me and Corey
Hawking,
went to.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes,
had-
I know what you're
Where-
talking about. Yeah.
Two pet rats,
I've never-
Gadget and Gizmo.
Yep. Gidget.
Oh, yeah.
Gidget.
Gizmo and Gadget.
Fidget. Yeah,
I've never had Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Yeah. Like
never-
the actual.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
made from vegetables.
Yeah. Like
It's made out of rat, dude.
Yeah,
You had it, Adam?
Carrie fixed it one time.
It's not made out of
It's supposed
rat.
to be. It's supposed to be
veggies.
like
Yeah, it is.
It's actually
a
germs.
poor man's meal
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
because it's,
Oh, well,
it's
that's nothing
real
I'd
simple
never
to
know
make.
about.
Well, it
and
kind of makes sense in the movie though, because as a kid, the master chef or whatever,
The
that's
food
what his mom,
critic.
the food critic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what
why. Because it's just stuff you can readily have and thrown togetgether.
Like
Yeah.
stone soup. That old story. Remember that?
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's real simple ingredients. I just
syrup
can't remember,
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So yeah, those are my facts. You guys want to do the thing we were talking about just a little bit ago?
Well,
I think
doing
we should
our-
go. I think we should go to worst movies
Worst,
first.
and then we'll do.
Yeah.
we'll
Worst
do
Pixar
the
movie.
pitch.
did I
don't
want
know.
to share? Can I share the Steve Jobs thing? Though?
Yeah, I'm
So
actually.
in 1986, Jobs acquired the computer graphics division of Lucasfilm
Okay.
and changed the name to Pixar Animation Studios.
Really?
And he remained the CEO and majority shareholder at 50% until it was acquisition by Walt Disney
Wow.
in May 2006.
That's actually pretty cool.
So he actually turned that around to make it to where Disney bought it and went on to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Steve.
yeah, he did a lot of good.
Yeah. Made Apple stuff.
Yeah,
You got a video playing on your phone.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about
It's
worst
Cyberpunk.
Pixar movies.
Okay.
Mine
Worst
is.
Pixar movie?
I'm trying to think.
I'm ready.
I didn't even
I
write this
know.
one down because I thought I'd come
Well-
up on the fly, but
Soul.
no.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was in nobody's top five.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet,
it's-
though,
It
so-
was fine.
I can't put it in
I'm
my
not
top
saying
five.
what would be the worst. Out of
well,
United
I think
and-
the worst
I'm
one
ready.
of the probably Cars 2.
Cars 2 is what I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
Cars
talk
2
about.
is trash.
I forgot
And
about that.
I have a fully thought out reasoning behind it too. Not only did it just it was just bad. I mean, it really wasn't good. But I think the problem was my idea behind it is the first movie everyone loved Mater.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, okay." Like I don't think they really expected people to love that character that. Like they knew they'd like him,
Right.
but like that much.
Yeah.
So then in the second movie, they tried to force this whole second storyline behind him into one movie, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't
It didn't
just
work out
wasn't
well.
good. Like they did the whole spy thing and whatever, and it was almost like they were trying to run two movies at the same time, but neither of them were thought out well enough.
Yeah.
It is kind of how I saw
I thought
it.
Cars 3 was kind of bad too. I didn't really like that either. Did you guys see
Actually,
Cars 3?
no.
I didn't see Cars 3.
Yeah, it was
We
fine.
gave it up after 2.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It was bad.
Isn't there planes? I thought that was terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
planes.
Planes.
That
That's not
But I don't
Pixar,
think
though.
it's Pixar.
I think
Oh, is that
it's
Walt
I think
Disney?
it's Disney.
Dusty.
I haven't
Yeah, he's
seen
a
it.
crop duster and he flies in a. Yeah, it's okay.
It's basically like Disney's ripoff of Cars, but with airplanes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is crazy because they're
owned by the same people.
same company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my least favorite, I mean, obviously it's Cars 2, but to not say that, I really didn't like Brave. I felt like Brave was just kind of running off the success of Frozen. And it was just like a
Brave
really...
was before Frozen.
Yeah, Brave was the fourth.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? When did Frozen come out?
A lot of people didn't like Brave because they thought the storyline was like, well, because the mom turns into a bear and it's like, well, you could have just stopped it like they said, it was one of those things
Oh,
where
yeah,
it didn't
Frozen
have to
too.
happen.
It didn't have to
I
happen.
thought Brave was cool once again, but
Frozen was
I'm-
2010.
I like the whole history and culture stuff. So the whole Scottish culture and even the way she talked and how she wanted to be, she didn't want to be a princess. She wanted to be like a warrior. And I thought that was kind of cool.
No,
And-
Brave came out in 2012. Frozen
Yeah,
2010.
I just leave it.
Okay.
So I
okay.
take that back. But
Frozen was out first.
yeah,
So-
I thought Brave
So
was just
Frozen
kind of,
was out first.
Frozen was out first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Frozen
I don't,
was?
I don't know
Yeah,
why I thought Brave was.
2010.
I don't know why
So
I
2
thought
years
Brave
later.
was
Wait,
first.
no.
I was about to say
Hang on.
that doesn't sound right. Come on, fact guy.
Where's our fact checker at?
2013, a year later.
So Brave came out first.
Brave out 2012.
So
Frozen
Frozen's-
2000.
I was gonna say. I
Okay,
thought
yeah.
Brave was
You're
out
right, you're
first.
right.
Well, but once again, Frozen was so huge. Maybe Brave would be better had it more time to.
True.
Years not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Enough time
have
to
you?
track.
It's interesting.
It
Nobody
overshadowed it.
Yeah, actually, here's the fact about Brave, which it might be why people didn't like it very much. Is halfway through they switched directors or something
Well, that's
because the lady that
That
was
has a
directing
big,
it first.
big impact on the
Yeah.
movie.
Have you heard the big like underwriting conspiracy thing that like
I was gonna
the
mention
witch from Brave is actually
Boo.
Boo from Monsters Inc.
See, I love
because
that.
she
It
has
makes
like
so much
she has like a
sense.
hand drawing of
Yeah.
Sully and like the thing, and they said like the theory is that because it doesn't really like it's a door, but it doesn't give you a time frame of
Exactly,
like
yeah.
which. You know, they're going to a different dimension essentially. So like it could be different times that they're going through doors.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that like she became a witch because she was trying to get back.
Yeah.
Like she wanted
Yeah.
to go back and find
Yeah,
him.
no, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
We could do the whole Disney how if the writers were actually smart enough to write all that stuff back in the day, like for instance, like how Moana and Atlantis is
Yeah.
actually connected, also with Tangled.
That's how Maui. Yeah.
Like I just think that stuff's so cool, and if they really did that,
I haven't heard about Moana and Atlantis.
it's like
Maui's
the
from
same
Atlantis.
flower. Maui's really an Atlantean, and that same flower that fell from the sky, and you even see it like when he's singing in the tattoos.
Yeah.
It was like the magic flower, which is also the same flower in Moana, is the same flower that Tangled uses.
Huh.
And then so I think that stuff's so cool.
That is cool.
Especially if, just from a writing standpoint. If one day they were like, let's tie all these movies together. Like Tarzan is supposedly Anna and Elsa's brother.
Yeah.
And it's in the shipwreck. The shipwreck where Frozen's parents died is supposed to be the shipwreck that's in Little Mermaid.
Oh.
Like what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that stuff's cool
That is
if
cool.
they really did that.
Yeah.
But cool
Interesting.
stuff.
Yeah. What's your least favorite, Eric?
Oh, I just said it.
Soul.
So
Soul. Really?
really,
Yeah. Well, no, you guys said Cars too, and I agree with that one.
all right.
You really didn't like Soul that much?
It was okay.
It was.
See, I'm not a music. I mean, I do like music, but
You're not a jazz guy.
I'm not a jazz guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought it was still.
If I liked jazz, maybe I would have liked the movie better. But that wasn't
Yeah,
the only issue.
it
Jazz
was.
wasn't the issue.
Yeah. It was good. I it's not my favorite by any means. I probably put it bottom 5, honestly, for me.
I agree with
But
you
you didn't.
guys.
Oh, bottom 5.
Bottom 5, yeah.
I agree with you guys with Car 2, but my actually least favorite was Finding Dory.
Oh,
that
I
was
forgot
bad
that
too.
existed.
Yeah. Now,
was bad,
and
too.
I'm going to tell you why. So, Finding Nemo, if you think about like the most successful Pixar movies, I think you have to say Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and Frozen,
Yeah.
right? Like the ones that kids like the most, I would say, based on the amount of backpacks and Halloween costumes you see and things like that.
Wait, is Frozen Pixar?
Disney,
Well,
isn't it?
yeah, but sorry, but I'm just saying, like in
Same
general,
thing.
right? So
No, it's not.
I felt like Nemo was so big, and so it was like,
He was kind of small. He was a little fish.
And that fin was definitely small.
and he wasn't that funny. But instead of like, oh, let's do Frozen, let's do Finding Nemo 2, it's like this is so good, we're gonna make a spin-off that's kind of like it,
Yeah.
and has parts of it, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just not the same thing.
But-
it's the character. It's kind of the same thing with Cars too. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
I think you described what the difference is that they're trying to build off a story with the same characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say in context of what we said, like with Mater, Mater became popular where everyone kind of like Dory was funny and goofy.
Right.
Let's try to. That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like. They fell in the same
Right.
trap.
But
And that's the difference between Toy Story, 2, 3, and 4 is that they found a new way to tell the story.
Yeah.
that was
The
unique.
same, yeah.
But Dory, so in the first movie, Dory's presented as a side character. It's a part of the story. It's very hard to take somebody that's a side character and part of the story and make it a bigger story at first. Like that's, I mean, even in writing, that'd be like taking.
Let's make a movie about Robin.
Right.
No, he's a sidekick.
I mean, it's
Batman.
like it'd be like taking, the guard from Romeo and Juliet and making his own side story. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It would die.
No, I totally.
Just like them.
Well, when you think about how to really put a good story together, you have to have the key characters. I don't want to even say that they're side characters because they play, like Mater plays an important role.
Yeah.
But there's a limit to that, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to have the other characters that are kind of like the main characters in the story. To
They're
carry
side
the
characters
story.
for a reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
the
not as-
reason
they're
why
not
they
as
were there
developed.
was for that part. You take them
Yeah.
outside of that element,
Yeah.
now they're not.
Yeah,
what
well, I
they were
mean,
created
and,
for.
and if you take like Mater and Dory, both characters were pretty much comic relief characters anyway.
Yeah.
You feel like you're missing something.
Yeah, and like they want to push them into this big story arc or this big full movie about them, and it just doesn't work because
That's
Yeah,
like
the main characters need to drive the story. The side characters.
well, and
need
those
to,
characters are funny in context. Like you're watching
Right.
Finding Nemo, all this serious stuff happens, and Dory says something stupid. That's funny. Mater does the same thing, but then you put them into movie.
you take them out of their mold they're
Yeah.
made for.
I will tell you that it's Mater shorts.
Oh yeah,
They're funny.
we watch those all the time.
I
yeah.
like those.
Don't you remember you were
that-
there? And
yeah.
he's like, oh, what?
He's just telling stories. Now that's funny, but that's not a full movie.
Yeah.
I think it also kind of speaks to first impressions because we as people, we get a first impression about something.
Shout out to Porterfield's First Impression Ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to change that first impression
asking for
is
sponsor.
really hard.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why you're hardly ever find anybody who says they like the second movie better than the first one, or I like their second album better than the first album. Even with music, most of the time when you listen to a band you really like that first album, it establishes a connection in your
Oh,
mind.
for sure,
And
yeah.
so it's like even it might be way better music or way better movie, but to you, it's still that thing that you first connected with it. It's kind of like Breaking Bad, like which
Yeah.
I loved Breaking Bad, one of my favorite TV shows. And then they tried to do Call Saul,
Better
Saul
Call
or whatever,
Saul, yeah.
and it just didn't.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't seem like it worked, but
Yeah.
because you have an idea set in your head already about how you see that.
Yeah.
Not that they're bad actors
Yeah.
or that they're bad writers or whatever. It's just like
Has there ever been a side story that actually has worked well?
Like in general.
Yeah, I don't think so.
can you think of
That's
a movie
been even
that's
better
second?
than the first,
Yeah.
like the main.
So we're not talking sequels necessarily, are we?
No, we're just talking about a
spin-offs.
spin-off of the connected story.
That's a good question.
Because like even like Star Trek when they did
Everyone gets their phones out.
when they did the Next Generation, they just leaped forward and did a whole new crew.
Yeah.
That worked, but
Yeah.
you can't take side characters and really flush out another story. I don't think that's ever worked.
Yeah. I'm looking up best movie spin-offs to see if it sparks
But it's
anything
almost
in
trying to like rewrite what you've already seen. It's hard to do that.
At the least, all it does is it's like we had this great success with this movie. Let's try to get a little bit more money out of it, so we'll do a side story.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
searched
Nothing's
trying to
ever
squeeze-
surpassed that.
I searched best movie spin-offs, and some of the ones that have came up are Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which I thought was horrendous.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Everybody talk like this in the movie, and you got
Yeah.
him and the both side.
Dan, did you see the oh shoot, what's that movie that we watched at your place? The first time I watched a movie at your place. The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah,
Did you see the spin-off? Jesus Rolls?
no,
Yeah, I bet it's bad.
See,
no, probably so.
10 movie
I
spin-offs.
don't think there's
that are,
anything that actually.
This one says Logan versus like the X-Men movies, the movie Logan.
Yeah, but
But
That's a
he's
that, but
still
that's a
sad.
yeah,
That's a continuation.
It's the same character.
Same
It's
character.
the same character.
Actually, to me, Wolverine drove most of the X-Men.
Yeah.
so. Oh yeah, he was the main.
He was the main character.
what
Mad
about
Max.
He wasn't a side character
What about-
in any of the X-Men, was he?
What about Creed? Looking at Rocky.
See, that to me, that's a That's a
It's a
new
spin-off.
development. That Creed's son.
But it's a
is-
continuation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Which-
it not
Rocky
a-
is still
so
there.
it's
It's just the
good,
next.
but I don't
generation.
think you'd find too many people that said that Creed is better than Rocky.
Yeah.
though.
What I'm
I mean-
saying too. Let me be clear. Is there a side story that's actually going above the main?
I think
I don't
like
think
the
there's
first thing stunk. It's horrible, but something else came
Okay.
from it. And it was really, really good. I think
Yeah.
that's what I would want to
Yeah.
see. Like the first thing was trash and garbage.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Another one I saw that came up, which I haven't seen it, so I don't know if it was good or not. But it said Birds of Prey versus Suicide Squad.
I thought Birds of Prey was so bad.
I didn't see
It
it.
said
'cause I
Suicide
hated-
Squad was
Suicide
so
Squad was
bad.
bad. That's actually a good example. 'cause
I didn't like Suicide
both
Squad.
were pretty
at all.
bad.
But did Birds of Prey surpass
I didn't
Suicide
watch,
Squad?
I didn't go to watch it because I didn't even want to.
Yeah.
watch it.
I doubt it because that came out during COVID and
Yeah, I
all
don't
movies
think so.
flopped during that. It probably could have though. I bet.
Yeah, I'd still say it's very rare for anything.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So in what we've just taught, Pixar and all the movie industries don't do that.
Yeah, if you need some ideas, Pixar, come to me because I got some good ideas for movies.
Well, do we want to do a quick spin-off?
Sure.
Dan, you want to do one?
We can. I'll do one.
So
Rapid fire.
So on my way here from work, I was like, it'd be fun on this episode to on the spot make up a spin-off movie of or not a spin-off, make up a concept for a Pixar movie. So we're gonna let Dan kick it off because he's the master of just spewing crap out of his mouth. Hit us, Dan.
All right, so my first Pixar idea was the story of a caterpillar who's getting ready to run a race, but he can't find one of his tennis shoes. 99, but he can't find the last one.
Can't find
That's not bad. What would the title of this movie be?
Legs dripping, legs ripping.
Legs dripping, legs.
That would sell, dude. That'd sell. All right, here's mine. I thought of this probably about 6 minutes ago, and I'm pretty proud of it. So we have a few. Oh, someone just rung a doorbell, which ties in great to my theme. Actually, no, it doesn't. Anyway, I know at least me, Dan, and Adam are musicians. We play guitar. You know how we're always losing those stupid picks, guitar picks?
Oh, yeah, I know where you're going.
Well, this movie is about what happens to those guitar picks. And my concept for this is whenever you lose a guitar pick, you didn't lose it. That guitar pick's trying to get away from you because each guitar pick has a goal of getting into the hands of top-tier musicians like Eddie Van Halen, stuff like that.
And it's
Like
tired
the
of getting
One
chewed
Ring?
on.
Like the
Like
One
Lord
Ring.
Rings.
And it's tired of getting chewed on, and like it's kind of like Toy Story style. These picks have personalities because you have different kind of picks. You have picks used for metal, and those are like the sick picks. You know what I'm saying? You have jazz picks, the kind of lame, but
The ones that break.
tasteful. You know,
The ones with holes in the
yeah.
middle.
You have the really thin ones. Those can be the skinny ones that are kind of nerds. Because who the heck uses thin picks? I got the thick ones.
Yeah.
But anyway, these picks' goal is to try to get into the hands of these famous musicians. And they'll go on journeys and stuff. And it's going to be called Finding Emo. Thank you.
It's kind of a little bit of a twist on the Pick of Destiny.
Yeah.
Jack Black.
My other one is a concept where there is I can't think of anything. I was gonna blatantly rip off a movie, but
I was thinking that your pick one would be good. There has to be one scene in the movie where they come across all the socks that you lose in the dryer.
And there's a spin-off there.
Yeah, and
That's
the
the
socks
crossover.
and
That's
the
the
picks.
crossover.
Yeah, and the socks can they can
Yeah.
beat each other up or
And
something.
then they also meet all of the coins you lose when you're getting ready to go on the toll bridge. You
All the
lose
car
them in your seat.
keys.
Car keys.
You ever think about all the coins in the river just down there, just being like
Oh yeah.
getting pooped on by fish and stuff, and just
hey, what's up?
Like-
We're just chilling.
billions of dollars of coins in the
Yeah.
ocean. No, yeah, just anyways. So.
That's why we're in debt.
Do you have one you would like to pitch?
I think a Pixar movie about demons would be awesome.
Jeez.
Cue the demon hunter music.
That would be cool.
Enough said.
That's it.
I still want to play a pad right now.
Just
Like Hercules. They got
wait,
demons
Adam.
Hercules.
Adam, you should play his evil laugh. Do you have it?
I like it.
That was good.
There we
that was
go.
good.
Then the angels come in and rescue everybody at the end.
Yeah.
I like
Animated. Actually, I did have another idea. It Pixar. This one actually could be pretty good. It's this town of zombies. Like zombies just live an everyday life, but then one day a human invades.
And so everybody-
Isn't
all
that
the zombies-
isn't
Flip
th-
it.
there's already a movie that's like similar to that, but isn't it like an astronaut on an alien planet? It's like there definitely is. It's like an animated
They're, like,
movie.
scared of us.
I can't. They're like
I think you
an
should shut your
astronaut.
Yeah.
An astronaut goes to another planet, and they're literally like driving cars. They have homes. Like they're just living their life. And all of a sudden, this human pops up and they're like
Yeah.
freaking
Well,
out.
never mind. Scratch that idea. It's been taken.
Well, you said zombies. So
Zombies,
you
yeah.
didn't say alien.
Yeah, I can still do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run with it.
No, actually, what I was thinking about is termites.
Termites?
Termites.
That'd be cool, actually. Or kind of on my theme, it's a world full of caterpillars and a worm comes in. It's not that.
Would that just be someone that like? Would they
Can I
just
cue the
would
stab
they
trombone
would
for
they
that
view the worm as just like a centipede that lost its legs in an accident or
Yeah. But the real plot twist is when you find out it wasn't actually a worm. Something else.
It was a crinkle cut French fry.
Yeah, that's what it was. Anyway, next.
Okay. You kind of threw this on us last minute, so I don't know.
Come on, Corey.
Edit this stuff out.
Come on, Corey. Think of something
Yeah.
that you would really relate to.
It's a movie about to really hit home with people that are have chronic illnesses.
Like
It's
maybe diabetes.
like maybe diabetes. But what you
Diabetes.
don't know is all the people on Earth that have diabetes are actually from a different planet. We're like invading. And
not
we need the insulin because we can't survive. So it's basically like Superman with the sun,
Oh,
how he
nice.
adapted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have to give ourselves insulin. It's how we keep ourselves alive while we're on Earth. But
Or
we're
you can
preparing
make,
to invade.
or you can make like a really weird origin story of insulin, like what insulin actually is.
There you go.
Well, it'd be cool to like do cells of the body and like somebody that's
Like Osmosis Jones,
well, like
the movie that takes
Jones.
place inside of Bill Murray.
yeah,
That's
that
a
could be
great
tricky.
movie.
I love that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Well,
ready for the moral?
let's get to the moral dilemma.
Okay, do you want to describe? Why don't you share about Soul first? Because I think that kind
Yeah.
of bases a little bit
Yeah,
off.
and
what we're
Dan,
talking.
there's gonna be spoilers. I think
That's okay.
You all right with
I'm
that?
okay with it.
there's gonna
I'm
be
okay.
spoilers,
It
but
doesn't bother me. No.
yeah. Honestly, if you haven't seen Soul, I wouldn't really rush to go see it. It's fine.
Do you have Disney Plus?
Just in general.
I told you about this that you
I
should
know.
just rent it for 1
I
month.
know.
Watch what you need to watch.
Get it. I just
Yeah, you just need to stop being a baby. Have you even seen The Mandalorian?
I'm behind.
Oh, jeez.
Gosh.
I know it's bad.
I guess you can't be on the Mandalorian episode.
Well, that's fine. I'll make my own. I'm gonna make my own podcast next week.
What's it called?
Moral problems.
Ethical
Moral
issues.
issues.
Doral Malone.
Doral Malema
Ethical issues.
Moral issues with Dan
and
Norman.
Derek will be on there with me,
Derek and Brian.
and Rory will be on there. With Brian
And Rug.
and Kratom Tarmsworth will be the sound man.
No, you can just hire back Fathom Arnsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fired
he's still
him.
floating
Wait,
around
we
there
actually paid him?
No, we didn't pay him. He's homeless somewhere, I think.
And I'll just talk crap about you guys the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Okay,
But anyway,
that'll probably increase our viewership.
Yeah, I will.
But anyway, getting away from that. So Soul, the movie, is kind of a first for Pixar in terms of like high concept things, because Pixar is all about like your purpose and your passion.
Onward was
I'm talking about like
No,
metaphysical level.
Up. Sorry,
Up. Wait,
That's-
no one mentioned Up.
that's the one
That's
I
a
was
great
trying to
movie.
mention.
That is a good
actually,
movie.
that was on
Instead
my
of
list.
instead of upward, you meant
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
It was sad.
It was sad.
It was sad, but I really liked it. It was a good adventure.
Have you heard the concept that that's actually he had already passed away? Have you heard that theory as well?
No,
Rest in peace.
No, but,
So-
but Angel Falls, I know where he lands, is the real
Yeah.
highest waterfall in the world, by the way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So there's like a theory behind that like when like his wife passed away, when he goes to pass away, it's like he's kind of like passing on, and like I can't remember what the scout's name is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's almost like an angel that's like
Oh, I got you.
guiding him to where like his final destination or
neat.
something.
Yeah,
That's neat.
that's cool.
Nice. Anyway, Soul.
So if
is,
that's true, then that would be
yeah.
not the only one.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Soul, like the purpose of
no,
Soul
good.
is like talking about like metaphysical, like really deep stuff. But anyway,
Not real deep.
it was trying to.
Yeah, but it didn't go anywhere.
True, but for a Pixar movie, it did. I think.
Okay.
I think it did. I mean, Soul, just because if you haven't seen Soul, it's about this guy who dies, and gets thrown into like this afterlife thing.
Yeah, he falls into a manhole.
He does fall into a manhole, which is a darn shame. Rest in peace.
On the day that he got this audition.
Yeah, so pretty much on the day
play
before
jazz, his dream.
His dream. And then he gets into this like not underworld. This sounds like
it's not underworld.
Yeah, it's like a limbo kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he kind of sees
There's like a escalator to heaven or to this bright place, and he doesn't go that way.
Yes.
He falls into
true.
the limbo state.
Well, yeah, there's like one side after he dies to where he gets put into the afterlife, like wherever he's going to go, heaven or hell, I guess.
Which we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't even really a hell though, because it's just everyone is like dying and then gets on this escalator and they're going up towards the light. There's
light.
no other direction.
Which I think is interesting that they choose light.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, just in general, where did they get that idea from?
It's stereotypical because you see that even in Tom and Jerry cartoons as a kid. You know what I mean? You see the light and the...
But it's just interesting that that's there.
Yeah. But anyway, Soul is...
It's not an original idea.
It talks... You don't think Soul's an original idea?
No, I'm saying
about the light
is not
like,
an original
yeah.
idea.
That's like just a thing.
That's everything.
Don't go towards the light. Yeah.
Even in, with the bugs, where they get zapped. Bug zapper.
Yeah.
I think whatever movie that was, Bug's Life or whatever. Don't go to the light and zap.
Yeah. But Soul does talk about, in interesting ways, like following your passion and things like that. So we're just going to talk about that from like a biblical viewpoint because, I mean, I thought Soul, I feel like its concept was supposed to be a lot deeper than it actually was. I agree with you there, Eric. But it just kind of like scraped the surface.
It was afraid to go there.
Yeah, I think that's part of it for sure. But
so let's do a generalization about life and death and beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess to your point, the main idea I guess was to try to create some purpose.
Yeah.
In purpose in life, right? That there's a reason to live.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So do you want to share those verses or do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm thinking about what you're saying too, and I kind of maybe missed the ball on that.
Mm-hmm.
The one verse I have is Jesus said to her, this is John chapter 11,
Mm-hmm.
your brothers will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and life. Whoever believes in me, though he were dead, yet he shall live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe this?
Yeah.
And I'll stop there. So of course, from Christianity's perspective, we know where we're headed because of what Jesus says.
Yeah.
And one of the things I can't remember, maybe somebody can help me find this, but another scripture I would kind of share with is that we don't serve a God of the dead. In other words, people just don't die. Jesus says, we're not serving a God that he's being worshipped by dead people. He's being worshipped by people that are alive. So like Abraham, Isaac, all these people that have passed are still living in some way. Mm-hmm. So, the Bible teaches us there is an afterlife.
Yeah.
And, going to some scriptures too, that we know that God had a plan in designing us. So Jeremiah, what's that? Jeremiah.
Oh man, dude.
I should know this.
29:13.
Yes.
There you go.
Plans I have for you.
Yeah, 29:13.
Prosper you. So, God has a plan for us and has designed us, and it even talks about in one of the Psalms that God knit us together in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that Psalm 119?
Mm-hmm.
So all these things that we see Scripture teaches us that we have a definite beginning, that we were definitely created, and then we have a definite end.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in limbo. It's not.
Yeah.
But anytime people outside of Christianity try to explain that, they aren't able to go too deep because they don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid to look at Scripture and find out the answers.
Yeah,
to
for
that.
sure. Well, what's interesting about Soul is in the movie it does mention hell, like hell as being a thing, which to me means that the director understood and kind of made a point in the movie that the great beyond, that one side that he was supposed to go after he died, he was going to go somewhere to be sent to heaven or hell. Mm-hmm. I think that was, but what to me is something that is interesting and I don't agree with is The Great Before, where he goes instead, where these bodiless soul things,
Counselors.
counselors that are trying to teach people what their passion is going to be and what their spark is going to be in the real world, which from a biblical viewpoint that was created before we were even a thought. Like we have our passions and stuff, but what I think I don't think soul's really definition or meaning for the movie is necessarily about like your passion. I mean, that's a part of it, but it makes it clear towards the end of the movie that your passion, this guy's passion was jazz, like jazz music. And when he finally does get sent back to Earth, even though he wasn't supposed to, he finally does this big jazz concert. He's not satisfied, which I think is really interesting because that kind of makes sense for people who find their passion in things that aren't God, because they're going to eventually reach that point. They're going to get to that point where, man, I just did something that I wanted to do my whole life, like from a music person, like play a concert somewhere, or I don't know. But what I thought was cool with Soul is that happens, and some movies would just be like, all right, he did it. He did his biggest life goal, but he realizes after that's not fulfilling to him. There's something, and this at this point is where it could have been really cool, where he finds out that like his passion is God, but instead the movie kind of takes the turn where like everyone's purpose on Earth is just life in general.
Well, see, I even thought, like, I guess maybe I'm just thinking of other movies I compare it to, like It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Holland's Opus. Have you seen Mr. Holland's Opus?
I haven't seen that, but I've seen.
But see,
yes, I have.
To me, those are movies that dictate, like, yeah, there might be a passion that they had, but there was a greater purpose that they realized they served. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in It's a Wonderful Life. The guy thinks about all these things he wanted to do with his life, didn't get a chance to.
Yeah.
These passions he had to get out of town and leave, and he's stuck there. Yeah. He doesn't realize that his purpose is greater than his passion, which I agree with.
Yeah, for sure.
But did they? I don't think for the gentleman in the movie, and this is probably maybe why I don't like it that well.
Yeah.
I don't think they really showcased that he found his purpose in life.
I think
he just found his he realized his passion wasn't his purpose.
Yeah. Well, see, how I view it as he realizes that, and he's messed up, because at that point in the movie, 22, that being that he was like faking to be the mentor of, who he was just kind of using to get back to Earth. After this thing, he feels super bad that he messed her chance up, and I think that his realization that his purpose is bigger than his passion was when he realizes that this soulless being who was unable to be trained, unable to be satisfied, the reason because of that is because she couldn't find her purpose, because her purpose was the one thing that she couldn't experience in that virtual world, which was life. And that, I think that is when he realizes that his purpose is life in that universe. I'm not saying
so
that.
In a general way, it's life.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not a single thing.
Yes.
So her purpose is not a particular thing. It's just life.
Well, her passion, the reason why she couldn't, because she was different from the other one. She didn't cling on to sports or music or things like that. The only reason she was able to get her like Earth Pass or whatever they called it was when she actually was reincarnated or whatever as a cat in the movie and experienced life. Actually,
she was the guy.
She was him,
that's right.
yeah.
She went to the body of the guy, and she was able to live life and meet people and talk. And her passion was life.
Discovery of things.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think that's cool, because it does say that we have passions, and that's important to a lot of people. Like I'd say my passion is music and stuff, but my purpose isn't music. Even if I became the world's best musician, that was never my purpose. My purpose is to be a Christian.
No, I thought the concept is good.
Yeah.
I just thought in other movies it was done
Oh,
better.
for sure. Yeah.
Like Mr. Holland's Opus.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Because
Have you ever seen that?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good movie.
I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life though, because in that movie,
That's an old
yeah,
movie.
and that's about the orchestra guy, right?
Mr. Holland's Opus, yeah.
Yeah.
And then It's a Wonderful Life is about, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but basically it's a black and white movie that was really, it's about
It's
him.
a Chris. Most people
I
consider it
need to see
Christmas
it.
movie.
Yeah. But no, I even though I don't necessarily agree with Soul, I do agree with you, Eric, that it kind of just like it felt like it was kind of beating around the bush.
Yeah.
Like which a lot of like
movies today now do.
well, that and a lot of like theories that are floating around, like these thought-provoking things. I feel like a lot of it's just overcomplicating something for individuals to make sense of not knowing something for sure.
Well,
because they're afraid to tackle
Yeah.
the overarching meaning of things.
Well, here's the biggest thing for me is like, I know there's people that believe, now what's the term for it? They're not atheists,
Agnostics.
agnostics, okay? Give me another alternative.
Yeah.
I mean, well, what's the other than, I don't know what other religion in the world, and I'm not just saying because I've been Christian all my life, my grandparents are Christians and my mom was Christian or whatever. Give me another religion that explains as much as Christianity does.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, because it's not
There's nothing.
afraid to, because it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be afraid. It doesn't have to.
I mean, if you just take the words of Jesus alone
Mm-hmm.
and what he says about life and death and
Yeah.
what's to come, I mean, there's so much information he gives,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not shy about it. He's clear about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just don't see that in any other religion in the world.
Yeah.
So if there is a God, who explained it the best?
Yeah.
Well, it's Christ.
Yeah. For
He
sure.
explained it very well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he even tells the person, today you'll be in paradise with me on the cross.
Yeah.
So I mean, he explained it very well. He shared it that he's preparing a place for all of us. I don't know of any other religion that's ever done that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree with you there.
And it's a constant conversation because even the Pharisees and the Sadducees would argue about life and death. Like as far as is there life after death? Is there a resurrection?
Yeah.
And that would start a lot of arguments between them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the Sadducees believed, that there would be life after death.
For sure. Yeah. I feel like there is a lot of just like theories and certain concepts that people put a lot of time into. Like, I mean, think about how many books, non-Christian books there are about understanding the meaning of life.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so like a lot of complex stuff that is, I guess for some people is interesting to read about. But in my view, it's people just trying to get comfort for not understanding what's going on.
What's funny is people that say that because we believe in Christ, that we're just gullible and we're just, I don't see myself that way.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least there was a point in my life where I thought about walking away.
Yeah.
But then I looked more into it and I feel like, no, this is right.
Yeah. I mean, thinking from like an atheist's perspective, I'm not saying I'm an atheist,
No, I understand.
but I'm saying thinking from like what an atheist would think. If I were an atheist, I feel like that kind of stuff, that kind of like reading books on the meaning of life would really be the only way I'd be able to cope with a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't have an answer. To them, unless they can read someone's view or someone's theory on the purpose of life, they're not going to have answers to why they're on Earth, like why they were born, which is really scary to me.
There's a lot of questions I have in just general.
Yeah.
If there is no God, why do we as mankind worship things?
True. Yeah.
Why do we
that's a
always
really good
look
point.
to one leader?
Mm-hmm.
We always look to one to lead us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we ever look to a committee. We want one person to represent us. Why is that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, what's the purpose of that?
Mm-hmm.
And you think about all these sports teams, the reason why we worship them. We lift them up, we watch them, we cheer
Exactly.
for them, we dedicate ourselves to them.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah. It's just something that is ingrained in everyone, and it's a common thing in everyone to just hold something above themselves, something to look forward to, something to praise and to be passionate about. And it just doesn't make sense for that to be a natural thing if we weren't created by someone who we were made to worship. You know what I'm saying?
No. And I even think about like some people like going the Matrix route. Wonder if we're just living.
We always go there.
We're living scenarios like,
Yeah.
is this just a test?
Yeah.
Is it kind of like a dream that
Yeah.
I'm going through?
Mm-hmm.
And it's to test how I react and how I deal with things. Who knows what it is? But
Yeah.
but I know that the reason why we have those questions about purpose and passion and
Yeah.
all these things is because they were put in us to find out. You know,
For sure.
We were designed.
It's an instinct.
And it makes me, I always go back because nobody likes that movie, the first Star Trek motion picture. But the whole idea of it, if you give it a chance and you can kind of fast forward through the good parts and get to the very end,
Yeah.
it's all about this machine looking for its creator.
Yeah.
And it just wants to be connected to its creator.
Yeah.
And to me, that's so interesting that a movie plays that out. And that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We're wanting a connection with something greater than us, and that's God who created us.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people too. We have a moral sense of right and wrong.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's
Why-
another instance.
If what I did in my life didn't matter, and at the end of my life, I just ceased to exist, I'm not going to follow rules. There's no right and wrong. So
That's why I can't-
murdering shouldn't be wrong. Even people who don't believe in God believe that murder is wrong.
Yeah.
I should be able to take what I want from yours. I should be able to take anything I want, do what I want to do. There should be no government. There should be no rule of law. We should basically just be primitive living.
Yeah.
But there's something inside of us that drives us, for the most part, most people drives them to do good.
Yeah.
And that can't be there for no reason. I mean, that has to, there has to be something driving that force behind us
Yeah.
too. So that's I
Just to
always
play
think about that a
the
lot.
devil's advocate here, I feel like a lot of people would argue, though,
Right.
that a reason for that is because of how they were raised by like parents and stuff.
Right.
Is there something you can think of?
Well,
But someone had to get that first, though,
Yeah.
because if your
Exactly.
parents raised you that way, they would have had to get it from their parents. And you're saying, like, someone at some point in the line would have had to develop that. So it still would have been.
It's something that's been
It's not
passed down from
something that.
somewhere.
It's not something that would have just like spontaneously
Yeah.
been one person. If all of these people have it, it's been passed down through these people, and it's still, where did it come from?
Well,
Yeah.
it's genetic too. The way we feel about things, the way that we feel when we hurt someone's feeling. Even if you're a dirtbag, if you hurt someone's feeling, most people still maybe feel bad about it.
Yeah.
That's ingrained in our DNA. That's genetic code.
Yeah.
Well, just like C.S. Lewis says, that you can have all these cultures that are kind of separate in pockets,
Yeah.
and they still have values. They still have a general sense of right and wrong.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
For sure.
How did this culture know that
Exactly.
if it wasn't, and if that's why I could never believe in evolution, because there's meaning. To me, life,
Yeah.
no matter how separate you are from God, there's meaning to life. There is some type of values and purpose to it,
Absolutely.
and you can't separate that from mankind.
For sure. Wow.
I do think the
a good point.
concept, if we get back to the soul talking about it, I think the idea was there, and I think it to me it's just better displayed in some other movies
Yeah, I agree.
that show that your passion, to your point, the passion is a good thing, but it isn't always your purpose.
Exactly, yeah. Which I was really, that's one thing that, because I thought Soul was fine, even the like high concept stuff, like the whole concept I thought was fine. But just that idea put in it, it even made me think, and I'm a Christian person. Like, I'm like, how many times do I sometimes think that my passion is my purpose? Like, how many times do I view my passions over God?
Yeah.
Which is, it's very often. Like, I mean, I'm passionate about certain things like music and video games even. And there are a lot of times when I find myself like striving more for those than for God. And that's something that Soul, even though the point of Soul wasn't for me to think about my relationship with God, I thought it was really cool that that movie was able to make me think that, which is why I like a lot of movies like that.
Well, and another thing to add to this is that, I believe that there's some intervention in life too that God does. It's just like us sitting in this room together.
Yeah.
Like, think about how God's interwoven our lives together.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Adam as a young kid.
Yeah.
Just his first drama at a retreat,
Yeah.
playing a blind man
Yeah.
many years ago. Never would have known ahead of time.
And now he's actually
was gonna be-
blind.
It's just like Dan doing praise and worship at Calvary
Yeah.
back when I had the youth group at Calvary. Even way before that, going to the retreats and being at Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, not Light. Well, even Lighthouse. You helped out at Lighthouse.
Yeah.
But
Calvary.
Lightner. And you know, just seeing all the things, and just like you guys, we're here at a podcast, and so God has His hand in things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to leave Jordan out too, but you
Well,
know,
Jay.
so God has His hand in things, and so we don't know what the future holds.
Mm-hmm.
But God has a way, and I thought about that today with Nikki and Jeff. I graduated same year as Jeff. We went to do different high schools, but God has woven our lives together. So
It's crazy.
it's just awesome, and only God to me does that.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's more to the story than our own purpose, because sometimes we get so focused on our purpose and our passion, we don't think about how it's affecting others around us. You know what I mean? How it's,
For sure. Yeah.
you know, God has you in a area or timeline for a reason.
Yeah.
To impact those around you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Man, that was fun. That was
Yeah.
fun.
We went all over the place that episode.
I like that. That was good. Shout out to Soul for sparking that conversation.
It was a
fun.
decent movie. I don't want to knock it too much, but it just left me wanting more, I guess. I just felt like it could have been greater.
Yeah, I mean, to be blunt, it wasn't entertaining really at all, to me at least. Like, I thought it was boring.
Yeah,
but
my kids didn't think it was that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine kids watching it. I'm pretty sure my dad
I think
started watching it and was like, "What the crap is this?"
I think Isaiah just stopped in the midway through it.
I don't blame him. Like, it was, and it was marketed as a kids movie pretty much because.
Well, I told some of my. Well, maybe I told you. I think they threw the cat in just to kind of try to capture.
That was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was okay.
I mean, I guess there had to be something for the guy to switch on accident bodies with, and I mean, a cat's fine.
Yeah, but so cats have souls now?
You don't believe that cats have souls?
No.
You don't? Do you think animals go to heaven or hell?
Well, I do believe that God will create it. I mean, let's think about the earth when it was perfect, that there was animals on the earth and it was perfect, right?
Yeah.
There was no issue with animals before.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that God will create animals again. Why not? I mean, there's nothing that He can't do, but I think they were made for our enjoyment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Bible talks about creating a new earth. So I believe that, possibly the new animal, whether they'll be the old animals or maybe new animals.
Yeah.
But
do you believe that animals can sin?
No.
Because they don't have souls?
No, but they had to. They fell because of man's sin.
Okay.
In the sense that things changed.
Yeah.
And then God put fear into animals, so that's the reason why animals fear us now.
Yeah. I haven't seen Soul, but going back to the cat, random fact.
Dan was just along for the ride on that section. He's like, oh, okay.
So you'll see in a lot of movies that cats actually, and it's from a lot of different cultures, even back to like Egyptian culture, but cats are seen as like in between worlds, like in between realms.
Yeah, that's true.
And so a lot of movies they see them as like they're here in this world, but they're actually like in another world.
They have like a foot in the other world
at the same time. And I can't remember, but there's a really popular movie where they actually use a cat to do something like that.
Is that where the 9 lives come from?
I don't, maybe, but like someone's morphing somewhere or something.
Animorphs.
And they're, and they're using a cat as a medium because they're like, well, the cat's already there, so we're just going to go through the. I can't remember what movie that is, but a lot of people see.
They even hinted that in Coco because like the big beast that she flies on in like the afterlife is that cat at the end of the movie,
and that's why there's a lot of movies where cats can see ghosts, like you see them invisible people or things like that.
I mean, I can say right now that the cat we have now came straight from hell. 100%. 100%.
Wow.
That's not a good cat.
It's one of those demons I was talking about.
It is. It's an actual demon. It has no love. It has no love. My mom loves it though.
Does she pet it or?
She tries. She's missing fingers now.
All
right. Do we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think
that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a good conversation.
Yes,
Dan, I'm sorry we spoiled the entire movie.
Yeah, well,
I didn't realize
I'm not
you
gonna
hadn't
watch
seen
it.
it.
No, honestly, I'll probably watch it with the kids. But
Yeah.
Then
it doesn't
shred
bother
us
me.
for
Yeah.
dogging it out.
No,
Like,
it doesn't
actually,
bother
it was a
me.
good movie.
It's hard to ruin movies for me. It's
Yeah.
no big deal. I'll watch it. So.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Awesome.
That's it. That's that.
All right, let's see.
Roll the outro music. I forgot that we had that.
Bye.
Sweet.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next episode. Do we have a topic pick for next episode yet?
No.
I think we talked about the Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Okay.
Yeah.
That could be fun. That'll be fun.
Oh, it'll be good.
Anyway,
Peace out.
peace out. Thanks for watching.